The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7
WMMS.
Well, I think more than 3 people died while we were gone. It seemed like a lot of people were dying.
Yeah.
Bill Russell died.
Yeah, Bill Russell and Nichelle Nichols.
Nichelle Nichols. She was Uhura
That was just
on
yesterday.
Star Trek.
Both of those.
Right, on the same day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pat Carroll died. You know the name Pat Carroll?
Yeah.
No.
She was Ursula in The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
She was, she was 95, so she had a long career, in black and white movies, and she was doing, towards the earlier portion of her career, she's doing all kinds of stuff. She was Shirley Feeney's mom on Laverne and Shirley. She was the grandmother in the Garfield cartoons. Pat Carroll was the woman
This
who...
one longing to be thinner, that one wants to get the girl, and do I help them? Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I've never seen The Little Mermaid, but...
I'm surprised you never watched that one. Especially, I feel like that's right in Nora's... Like, that's a perfect movie for her to watch at 6 years old.
She couldn't care less about Disney princesses.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
couldn't care less. Got real lucky with that one. Yeah, she wants SpongeBob and farts and all that stuff. Bill Russell, one of the most accomplished athletes of all time. In 1980, sports writers voted him the greatest athlete of all time. Now, of course, some people would come to supplant him there. But he was also very politically active. Mm-hmm. And he was 88 years old. Here's Kareem and some other people talking about him.
He was the first player ever to win the Triple Crown of basketball championships. He won an NCAA title, an NBA title, and an Olympic gold medal, all within the span of 13 months. In 1966, Bill Russell became player coach of the Boston Celtics, the first African-American head coach in a major professional sports league.
He's the one that defined excellence in the NBA.
Taking the game to a whole other level.
Can you imagine winning 11 championships in 13 years?
That's
insane.
crazy.
His career was 13 years long, and he won 8 in a row. They named the NBA Finals trophy after him. He was talking about in 2009 when they told him it was going to be named after him.
This award will henceforth be named for Bill Russell, a true legend of the game.
Until David made the presentation, I heard about it about an hour before. They kept it away from me. My wife had just died. David was sensitive enough that he'd called her 5 or 6 weeks before and told her that they were going to do that, but she was not to tell me. That's one of the nicest things that I could imagine happening to our family. My name on the trophy, really great. Almost overwhelming, but I'm too egotistical to be overwhelmed.
I am too egotistical to be overwhelmed. A lot of people, by the way, in Boston found out when it went up on the Jumbotron at Fenway yesterday. They put up R.I.P. Bill Russell at the Red Sox game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, Nichelle Nichols was also a groundbreaker. She's a daughter of Chicago. But she was Uhura on the original Star Trek.
You watch your mouth.
Uhura. She was Uhura. Oh! It was a big deal in 1968 when she kissed William Shatner. She was a black woman, of course, and he was a white guy. And you'd like to think that things have changed a lot, but they really haven't changed that much.
There's a lot of people that still would be pretty upset with that.
People still getting their undies in a twist over interracial cereal commercials. So Nichelle Nichols, she was one of 4 of the original cast members who were still alive. Now it's just Shatner. George Takei is still alive, and I think Walter Koenig is still alive. He was Pavel Chekhov. His son was famously Boner Stabone on Family Ties. He took his own life some years ago, but Andrew Koenig was famously Walter Koenig's son. And Nichelle Nichols was talking about how she wanted to leave Star Trek very early on in its run. She was one of the first black women ever to be even in a primetime show. And she was obviously when they started doing those movies with that original cast. And she had told Gene Roddenberry that she was leaving the show to go back to live theater. And she met a fan at a fundraiser who changed her mind.
When the organizer came over and said, Miss Nichols, there's someone here. He is your biggest fan, and he's desperate to meet you. I said, certainly, and I stand up looking for a young man who's a Star Trek fan. And instead of fan, there's this face the world knows. And I remember thinking, whoever that fan is going to have to wait because Dr. Martin Luther King, my leader, is walking toward me, not 10 feet away, with a beautiful smile on his face. Yes, Miss Nichols, I am your greatest fan.
That's awesome.
And Martin Luther King, huh?
Do you think they hooked up?
I was going to say, he really liked to put it out there. Yeah. I always think he died.
I have another dream.
I always think he died earlier than he did. He was killed in 1968, and Star Trek had been on the air, obviously, by then. And I always think he went in the late 50s, early 60s. But I am incorrect in that. So Nichelle Nichols died at 89. A guy not a lot of people know, but a guy who produced all the My Chemical Romance albums and a whole bunch of other people, he died very suddenly. He's like my age, early 50s, I think. So, yeah. And then, of course, the Choco Taco, which we've already covered. The Choco Taco was also unceremoniously murdered as well. But what are you going to do? Alan Cox Show After Hours line. Anytime you want to leave us messages there, you can. A quick voicemail or whatever. It is the number is 216-986-8903.
Hi, Al and friends. Whole lot of best of lately in the past month or so. And, you know, Alan, your dad died, and I'm sorry about that. Sucks for you, sucks for us. But, you know, just a whole lot of best of lately, and that begs the question, what am I paying for? You know? Where's my money going? What are you guys using it for? Just to take fancy vacations, or what am I paying for here?
Okay, there you go. Alice Dustin. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. Yeah, you're not, I get what you're doing.
Ripping them off.
You're
ripping them off, Alan.
Right.
How
Of course.
dare you.
That's me.
You elitist.
The rip-off artist. I also got a letter from Cameron. He sent me a photo. He goes, he was at the Great Lakes Renaissance Fair this past weekend, and props to the guy who's out there with the giant hot nuts booth. So if you're the perhaps, I don't know what the Venn diagram of the Great Lakes Ren Fair and Chick Willis fans look like. Yep.
I was trying to get Rage to play this.
You were trying to get what?
Rage to play this. But
Oh, did you go to the Rage show?
I went to the Rage show.
How was it?
It was awesome to rage against the machine at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in the Huntington Club seats.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to just really
rage
stick it
against
to the
that
man
machine
with my Bud Light. And
well, there's no way
and my
around
Nikes
that,
on,
though.
yeah.
I mean, everybody's making those jokes, but it's like, there's no way around that. It's 2022.
I understand. With my tickets that I purchased from Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Which they love.
They were good, though. Was Zach still sitting for this
Yeah.
show? Yeah.
Yeah, Zach was sitting because I guess he blew out his ACL.
Yeah.
Or on like the second show that they did. So he sat the whole time, but it's still awesome. And Tom Morello is just brilliant. And it was an awesome show. Run the Jewels opened up for him, and Rap Live is just not all that exciting.
Well,
to
not
me.
in that big of a venue.
Yeah, that's kind of
you
what
see
I was
Killer
talking about
Mike
with
in
my
a
friend.
club or something,
Yeah, like if
it's
you saw him in a
great.
smaller club, it'd be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
But in that big of a venue, and also I don't know why they can't just give them more stage.
What do you mean?
Like they only got like a little sliver of the front of the stage.
Because everything was set up behind
Because
him?
everything was set up behind him. But I'm
Yeah.
like, can't you guys just put things on sliders and move them in and out faster? I don't know. It just seems weird that they have to set up that way. And I've seen other bands, I mean, at the Rock Hall induction, They're moving things all over that stage. They can do it.
Right.
So, but it was awesome. It was a great time.
Well, I think the review I had read, I think it was Cleveland Scene, where they were like, well, Rage just kind of went for the nostalgia thing.
Yeah, what
and
else?
I was
are they
like,
gonna
well,
do?
yeah, they've been on for a long time.
They haven't put an album out in 20 years either.
I wasn't sure what that what hot take meant, but
My boyfriend went to that show Wednesday night, and then Friday night he went to the Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson and ZZ Top.
oh,
and,
what a great show.
Well, and I asked him, I said, which one did you like more? And like, was it the same? And he goes, yeah, it was exactly the same. To watch Rage Against the Machine and then Willie Nelson sit down and play the guitar because he's 100 years old.
But who's been raging against the machines longer than Willie?
Right.
Raging against the IRS. And, so Willie sat.
Willie sat. He said, I guess he's like 83 or
He's
something.
very old.
He's very old.
When Willie Nelson goes, that'll be a national tragedy.
Yeah. He said ZZ Top killed it, though.
They're great.
That they just, like...
And those guys are no spring chickens either.
Yeah, that they just wiped up. It was great.
Willie Nelson will be 90 in April.
That's so old.
Very
Could you
old.
imagine being 89 years
And
old
he's still
and
touring.
touring? Yeah, that's what I was
doing
going to
it.
say.
It would be fantastic.
That's awesome that you get to do what you love for that long.
Yes.
But you've got to be...
That's probably what's keeping him alive, actually. So the minute he, like, you know what, I'm just going to hang up my hat.
He's going to die.
Yeah,
Maybe.
literally. That's what's keeping his heart going. As soon as his heart relaxes, it's like, what's this?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he said it was a much different vibe, though.
Yeah,
he had
very.
pavilion seats at Blossom versus...
Just as much weed smoke, I bet.
Right, yeah.
Joe Biden is like, what are you talking about? You could be 80-something and tour. No big deal. Does he know how to read a teleprompter? Because I do.
Yeah.
Are you doing a bit? What?
That was Joe Biden. You couldn't tell?
Oh, that was Joe Biden. I see.
You couldn't tell from his impression? His killer Joe Biden impression?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So good show, though.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Did they pack out the Romo Fijo?
Yeah, it was very packed.
Yeah.
It was a great time. That's also one of those concerts where that is very much our demographic going to that show.
Oh, yeah.
So like when I saw Tool, every 2 feet it's like, hey Bill, hey Bill, hey Bill. And everybody's cool. They're just saying hi. And it's great. And like before we got there, I went with Cody Cooper, and he's like, "Oh, you're so famous." And then we walked around, and I'm like, "Yeah, I am, buddy. I am."
How do you like that?
I've only been to the Romo Fijo since its renovation. I think I went with you one time. We went. What were we there for? It was
you guys went for a Cavs game for the station.
Okay, it was a Cavs game, and then I saw the Monsters.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was out of town. I couldn't go.
Yeah, because that's when I escaped to go to my friend's box.
That's right. That's right. One thing though, so Poundcake's always worried about people noticing him and like watching him in public. That actually was happening to me because people were like,
Yeah, it happens.
"Why are you on your phone during Rage?" I'm like, "Because I'm making jokes too. Because I can't just pay attention to things and enjoy
can't just
it.
enjoy something.
Yeah, I gotta be silly and I gotta make dumb references.
In person, people were asking you?
No, like I'm getting messages from people. They're like, "Hey," like a picture of me looking at my phone, and they're like, "Why weren't you just watching the show?"
And they're tweeting this?
They like message
email?
it to me on Facebook or something.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you ask them, why weren't you paying attention?
"You also
Why
weren't
are you
paying-"
watching me?
Yeah, don't watch me. Watch Zach.
Right. You're seeing me for free. You paid to see those guys.
Yeah.
Alan, I work for a collection law firm. I'll work on Mary's behalf with respect to the bet.
Wait.
Poundcake.
Oh.
I think we should do it more mob style. Break some thumbs and stuff.
There you go.
I'm not that. I can't do that.
You don't have to do
A lot of
that.
people
I
pointing.
will do it.
A lot of people pointing out that bets don't ever work on installments. By the way,
No.
ever.
Go tell your bookie you need to pay
That's
back
right.
on an installment plan.
Hey, bro. I can get by with one thumb.
As I told Mary before, it's against my principle. Everything in me. I don't even pay my mother in full.
The one time. How convenient. The
I
one
stick to
time.
my guns.
The one time, all of a sudden, that his family takes precedence.
Right, he comes
is when he
in.
could potentially owe you money.
He pokes his head in the office in the break. I'm eating a salad, and he just goes, "Bitch, I don't even pay my mom up front." And I was like, "What that means?" But okay. Like,
Seconds after saying his family takes
Why don't-
precedent.
Here's what you should do. You should start paying the $500 now,
and then I can give you 200
and then
of it back.
then you can give it back if he. Yeah.
No.
Whatever, Cody. Doesn't matter.
I know, because I'm going to get skinny. I am. I'm going to be down to what? So wait, 192, so 20 pounds lighter is what, 172?
There's the math genius.
Oh my gosh, I was like, okay, 10, carry the 1. I'm like, let me do it.
Still carrying.
We were talking about s'mores a few weeks ago, And I went on a little getaway because everybody else was out of town. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the training. I'm going to learn everything new so that somebody knows what we're doing when we get to the new studios. But I'm also going to take a couple days for myself and go to a cabin. And me and my girlfriend went and we did s'mores with the peanut butter cup and the Ritz. And it was so good.
S'morsels.
And then what she does, what she learned from her grandma, is instead of using Hershey's chocolate, she uses frosting.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And that is pretty awesome.
I love frosting, dude. I
Like
was
the
thinking about
whipped
that.
frosting
Yes.
with a hot,
That
little
might be
bit charred.
too mushy though, because
No, it kind of works really well.
the thing about the chocolate is that it doesn't melt all the way, so you kind of get that difference in consistency.
But it worked. Also, I was on mushrooms, so it was awesome.
The mush in my mouth.
So the bar was not high.
I mean, it was really good. I like both versions. And they had a hot tub. Didn't get sick from the hot tub, so
because it wasn't at a Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
He's psycho.
So Chef recommends that iteration.
Yeah, I say
Ritz
get
crackers.
crazy with all the different combinations of s'mores that you can.
Oh, all right.
I say don't be beholden to one traditional kind of s'more. Treat it like an Oreo cookie where they got all the different flavors now.
Keep your mind open. Mm-hmm. Alan Paul Sorvino died while you were gone, too.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Paulie from Goodfellas. He was also, people forget, he was season 1 of, he and Chris Noth were the original cops on Law & Order. He's Mira Sorvino's dad. I assume she got her looks from her mom. But yeah, he died while we were gone, too. A lot of prominent people dying. So Ray Liotta and Paul Sorvino within months of each other. Your heavy hitters from Goodfellas there. And he looked like he was in such good shape, too. I mean, you can't,
cheap shots.
Can't believe that Paul Sorvino
How old was he? 'Cause,
he was 83 years old.
That's a pretty old fat guy.
Yep. Died at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville.
Was it the actual Mayo Clinic or was it?
That's what he called it.
Yeah.
He was at the Mayonnaise Clinic. It was a Mayo-based restaurant there in Jacksonville. They buried him, however, in Hollywood. I don't know if that's Florida or California.
Dude, we rewatched Seven last night. We talking about the Mayo-based, that fat guy. Oh my God, dude. So
Rewatched
messed up.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just flicking through, and my boyfriend stopped and he goes, "You want to watch this?" I was like, "I don't think I've seen that movie in at least 10 years." And we rewatched it, and it's still just so good.
I watched a couple of Japanese horror films. One of them came very highly recommended,
Oh
and
my
I could
God.
not stick with it.
I know you got a break, but I got to tell you this. So we were at breakfast this morning, me and my mom and my sister. My mom goes, "You ruined my life because I heard you guys talking about Tusk on air, and I watched it."
Your mom watched
My
Tusk?
mom watched
Yep.
Tusk. And so then my sister and my 10-year-old niece are like, "What's Tusk?" So we started explaining the premise of this movie. And I pulled up a picture on my phone. I told my sister, she's kind of squeamish. I was like, "Do you want to see this walrus man?" And she goes, "Is it?" I was like, it's not that creepy because it's fake, yada, yada, yada. And so I showed it to her. My niece is chirping and chirping and she's like, "I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it." And I showed my sister.
Is it set in New-York?
In New-York? My sister goes, "Yeah, you can show her." And so I showed my niece the picture of what he looks like as a walrus. And I get a text message like 20 minutes later that they were driving home. She goes, "Yo, Riley is sobbing, crying, saying that I wish I could unsee the walrus man."
That's right.
I was like, "You told me to show her." So
Time for bed, honey, when we get home.
that movie, that was this morning. That movie ruined my niece's
Yep.
life today.
When you see her, just go, "Hey, Tennessee." See if she gets it. I'm sure she will. No, I tried to watch One Cut of the Dead because people were telling me how good that was, and I couldn't stick with it. But I watched The Sadness. You want to just see a solid gore fest. If you like your gore subtitled, how about...
I don't like gore, and now I'm reading. Ugh.
You don't know how to read.
I'm telling you that I don't want to.
That's why you don't like it.
I got a break. If you want to text 4something35192, AlanCoxShow.com if you want to watch. And you can listen anywhere you are on the iHeartRadio app.